Guys, um, we have, I think we're officially at war with Iran. The news came out today that like six Americans were killed. Um, 6 U.S. service members were killed in Iran, and we're officially at war with Iran. Don't don't be afraid because the U.S. the U.S. military is unmatched. Like, there is not a single country that is close to the United States in military power. And to be honest with you, I will say this. Iran has no idea the country they are at war with. Iran has no idea. Secondly, our service members and our military of the United States is unmatched. Unmatched. And we will not be afraid. We will not be afraid of Iran, and we will not be afraid because China and Russia are not getting involved. Already said so. Because they can't get involved, because they don't want a war with America, they don't want a war, because they know they can't sustain that. China and Russia cannot sustain a war with the United States. Russia can't even take Ukraine. So we're already seeing that happen right now. Russia can't even take Ukraine. China is too busy trying to find out how to keep their economy from collapsing. So, Iran, we are officially at war with Iran. I am not afraid, and I am not intimidated by Iran. We will not be intimidated by Iran. Throughout history, if you were the country to attack the United States, so help you, Lord, you come to realize you made a big mistake. Just ask Japan. Just ask Japan. They bombed Pearl Harbor. Look what happened to them. 2 atomic bombs. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and we would have nuked Tokyo next. Japan got nuked 2 times by the United States when they bombed Pearl Harbor. 80 plus years later, that still haunts the world. 80 years later, that still scares Japan. Just ask Japanese people. They teach it in schools. Mm-hmm. They literally teach in schools across the entire planet. I don't know in our adversaries, but I know in Europe. Because my grandpa has buddies in Europe, and they learn about American history in Europe. And they learn not to mess with the United States. Because they know better. In Japan, and I think in some European countries, if I remember correctly, I think you have to actually know U.S. history in order to graduate high school. You can't even graduate in America without knowing American history. That's a required class. Wonder why? It's just, the only reason why people talk trash about America is because they don't live in America. Nobody in America believes that China is more superior. Nobody in America believes that. I have never heard of anyone inside of America talking crap about their own military. I have not heard about that. Why? Because if you don't live in America, you don't understand the power of the U.S. military. Unless if you learn about it in school. In which the United States is really good at keeping information about the military private. That's why you really can't do too much in-depth research about the U.S. military, because they don't tell you everything about it. But I am a firm believer that the U.S. military could destroy Iran within a week If we wanted to do, if we could actually have Iran completely destroyed in a week. But we do not want to destroy the country of Iran. We want to free the Iranian people. We want to free the people of Iran. We do not want to destroy the entire country. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to free the Iranian people. We're trying to regime change. That's what we're trying to do. And that's what we've been trying to do with Iran since the summer when we took out their nuclear silos. Keep your faith in Jesus. I promise you it will work out. Pray for our service members. Pray for our service members because we are going to make Iran a Christian nation again. We are going to get rid of Islam in the country of Iran. We are going to get rid of that government, and we are going to free the Iranian people. God bless President Trump for doing what the Iranian people have been asking for years. Trump is the only president that has the courage to stand up to Iran and to stand up to China and Russia and tell them to screw off. You ask China in private. They'll tell you. They don't want a war with the United States. But do you think China's going to come out on the world stage and tell the U.S. directly that they don't want a war with the United States? They're not going to do that. But I can promise you that the Chinese president calls Trump privately and tells him that they do not want a war with the United States. Why else do you think China would, under Trump the first time, China made their decisions very, very carefully. They did not want to screw up. Because the United States is the only real trading partner China has anymore. Because now that Trump's president, Russia might actually go back to the West. Russia used to be allies with the West. China's always been allies with North Korea. But Russia has always been allies with the West. But somewhere along the way, Russia went further east. But if you look at it, World War I, Russia and America were allies. Russia was allies with the West. Russia was pretty West until Joseph Stalin became then. Russia went further east when Joseph Stalin became the leader. When the Soviet Union came. The Soviet Union ended up collapsing in 1991. And that hit China and North Korea deeply. To this day, North Korea has a starvation problem, and China has economic problems to the max. Sure, from the outside perspective, they're not going to let you see that. Why? Because they want to keep the Chinese Communist Party wants to keep spreading propaganda and lies about China. China is nothing what you see on TV. They're going to tell you, oh, it's so advanced. It's so advanced. Yeah, you probably have never been there. You only saw pictures on social media. But I promise you, there are people that come from China, and they're glad they're gone. So, Iran is going to be free. Because Iran and the United States were allies before 1979. All ended in 1979 when the oppressive regime took office. In 1979. That's when America and Iran stopped being allies. But I believe we can go back to that. I strongly believe that Iran can go back to what it used to be. Pray for the people of Iran and pray for our service members.